Hi, this is a quick overview of the gameplay modes in Pro Strategy Football. I'll be making various gameplay videos covering play calling, career play, clock options, and more. Now, the heart of PSF is the Realistic Simulation Engine, and this engine is used whether you're coaching or simulating, and whether you're in a quick game, season play, or career. With PSF, you can play quick matchups between any 2016 teams, or you can play the 2016 season, or you can manage and coach a single team across a career. Let's look at single season play first. Single season play lets you play the 2016 teams through a season over and over. You can change the default quarter length if you prefer shorter quarters, and you can also choose a primary team, although that's not necessary. Now, unlike career play, even if you have a primary team, you can still coach any team or all teams. However, your primary team will be highlighted when viewing stats and leaders, etc. So there are two ways to view the schedule and play an upcoming game. First, you can view the current week, and you can simulate or play any game. Now, I'm going to point out over and over in these videos that when PSF simulates a game, it actually plays the game out, every down, rather than simply predicting it. Every down is played out in memory. Since this is just a quick overview, I'm going to save the actual coaching for another video that's on. Notice you can review any game, and you can even step back to an earlier week. So I could go see, for example, just how Detroit beat Green Bay, or I might step back to the previous week, and I might check out how Green Bay beat Minnesota. I can look at game stats. I can look at the highlights. If I look at the highlights, I see that Green Bay scored late in the second quarter, and Minnesota scored. And I can even see it was a wild game that went into overtime. Both teams lost a fumble, and then Green Bay won in the closing minutes, 3-yard pass on a long drive. And of course, there's no extra point since it was overtime, but they won in OT. And you can view any game. So at the end of the season, you can go back and review week 1 if you want. Now, there's another way to view the season and play matchups. You can tap the Teams button and select any team to view its schedule. So for example, I might want to go check out Seattle. I see they beat Miami in a close one, and they beat Los Angeles in another pretty good game, and I can go review those, and I can play the current matchup. I can look at Seattle's team stats and their player stats. Speaking of stats, of course, you want to look at league leaders, and league leaders are broken down into multiple categories. You've got passing, rushing, receiving, other offense, defense, special teams, and on every one of these, each column is sortable. So right now, I'm looking at passing leaders by average yard. Now, you can also look at it by rating, for example, or maybe by longest pass, by the number of interceptions, or by the most interceptions. And you can do that in any of these league leader categories. So let's head back to the main screen. Maybe you just want to play a quick pickup game. You can click on Quick Game, and here you can select any two teams and any two coaches. If you set them both to computer, you're simulating this game, which means, for example, you might simulate it 10 times to get an idea of the predicted outcome. Or maybe you want to play against the computer, or maybe you want to play against your friend. You have all those choices. You can go change the team. You can go scout, for example, Detroit. Click on scout. We'll get into that later. And you can pick them, and now you've got Detroit against Minnesota. Again, I'm going to cover coaching in more detail in its own video. And finally, let's look at career play. Career play, of course, is pretty massive, so it's going to cover at least one other video. Now, PSF is not a full front office game. It doesn't claim to be, but it is a fun career game. And there's a lot of features here that should make career fans very happy, especially since career play uses the same realistic, accurate simulation engine as coaching, and since you can also coach and watch plays. You're not just a manager. Again, I'm going to cover more of this in its own videos, but here are a few quick highlights. Each year in your career is made up of phases. First, there's season play, where you can sim or coach each week. I can pick and say, just go ahead and simulate this for me. And again, the computer plays every down. Or no, I want to coach it. I like coaching my team. Or you could even simulate the whole season. You could say, simulate the regular season, let me take over in the playoffs. Or maybe I just want to manage. You'd say, simulate the playoffs too, just get me to that off season. And maybe you want to fly through 100 seasons, and you say simulate everything. And then it's going to simulate the draft, the training, every preseason game, and so forth. And this way you could quickly cover 50 or 100 seasons if you wanted to. Well, let's look back at this. You can see that Baltimore isn't doing that great. I'm 16-18, and I am now in season 3, and I'm already down 0-2. Notice that over here, just as in single season play, I can view the season standings, the current season schedule, go review any games that have been played, and of course the current season leaders. But in addition, there's this history information. Here you can view career leaders, past seasons. Remember I said a second ago you might play 100 seasons? Okay, and now you want to go back and see over time who won the championship each of those seasons. Who were the passing leaders, who were the rushing leaders, and so forth. You can do that. And then of course you can also view team history. Let's just check that out. Again, as with any stats or leaderships, you can sort in any column, maybe see who's been in the playoffs the most, who's won the conference the most, who's won the most championships. If you sort alphabetically, your team will always appear at the top to make it easy to click them. And if you pick a team, then you can go see that team's history, and you can drill down, see how that team did in that particular season. I could go see how Baltimore did in 2016. Which games did they win? Which games did they lose? I can go look at the player history and so forth. But I already said this was going to be a quick overview. So I hope you agree there's a lot here for everyone. Whether you like coaching, pickup games, single season, career play, whatever. And be sure to check out my other gameplay videos as well. Thanks a lot.